Okay, welcome back, guys, on another weekly crypto podcast. Now, I know I haven't been online for a while, so this video is going to be a recap of the past 2 weeks on a lot of things. So, starting first is Bitcoin's chart on the monthly and seeing how the monthly closed. Pretty much, we're holding that 21 monthly moving average, and we're getting squeezed by that EMA 8 on the monthly as well. So a fall below the white line, then we're looking pretty bearish. But if we break and hold above the EMA 8 on the monthly, then it's looking good. Let's have a look at the weekly as well. So as you can see, I'm pretty much tracking Bitcoin in this channel, rising channel. What we see here, so we look like we potentially have a double bottom on our hands, and we could potentially see a rally higher. Now, there's a key in understanding where this reversal came into, and if you pull the fib levels from the bottom here to the top, you could see that we pretty much came into that reversal zone from the 786 to the 618 area. So we started to clear that, and now we're just above the EMA 8 on the weekly period. All I'm looking for is continuation of this momentum. If we do come back lower and we do break this low down here, then it is looking pretty bad, and I'll say that the monthly trend is also going to break. So if this is our trend for now, I'll be looking at selling some of my altcoins pretty much on the bounce in this reversal zone. So anywhere between 52 to 58 is an area that I'll be looking at taking some profits to de-risk across my altcoin portfolio. So that's pretty much it for Bitcoin. So not too bad there. I know there was a lot of fear, but again, like I said, it's not too bad. It's looking like a double bottom potentially playing out. Looking at potentially the low being in, you can just tell by the long wicks over here. As long as we hold these low levels here where we bounced, pretty much at 35,000, yeah, the bottom could potentially be in. There's another reason why I like to pay attention to Bitcoin dominance is there's a good gauge on right now. So on this yellow line, going back to 2019, pretty much we're testing it right now. So this might be a prime opportunity to open up some altcoin positions, because if we get a rejection here, it's best risk to reward. A rejection down here would mean that we would potentially test this lower region and potentially break it as well. However, if we do break above this yellow line on the weekly, just be cautious, especially if we break the 50-week moving average, this red line coming in now. If we do get above these, it's pretty much, to me, it's a signal to get out of altcoins where I can. And yeah, it looking like it will be Bitcoin season. Let's have a look at USDT dominance as well at the moment. USDT dominance at the moment, holding this yellow trend line. So I'm looking at for this to potentially break. So if we do break this, you're looking at a double top being confirmed with targets down here to about 3% region. Now, the interesting thing about this, if we switch to log scale, you can see I've been tracking that. Right here, this is where Russia invaded Ukraine, pretty much in the last week of February. You had a lot of fear in the market, but I recognize that area as a prime area to pretty much open some buys. And if you did, you'll be pretty off at the moment, because you've got Luna pumping, you've got Bitcoin pumping recently on the 1st of March. So this was a prime opportunity to biggest risk to reward. I'm not going to say that you're going to make money. I'm just saying that it carried the most risk to reward right here to be opening some altcoin positions. Now, if we do get down all the way down here, I'll be looking at taking more altcoin profits, because we could get a potential bounce off this blue line. However, if we do break this blue line, we're looking at face melting gains. So that's it for the market update. Let's have a look at some of the other things that I've got prepared right now. So you probably recall on mid-Feb, I posted this on Total 3 backtesting. And if you have a look at the Total 3 mark, I did take some profits out here out of altcoins. And lucky I did, because pretty much this Total 3 for the total crypto market cap minus Bitcoin and Ethereum, this dumped heavily all the way down here. So always pay attention to bearish backtest. What else have we got? So this is another big one that BC Backer is tracking the fractal movement, and this is the crashing structure of the 2017-2018 Bitcoin bull run. So Blockchain Backer has been tracking this, and I've been following him very closely. And at the moment, when we came down this region, there was a lot of fear in the market, and we thought maybe this fractal's done. Russia's invading Ukraine, whatnot. But then what happened recently, and you'll see it in his latest Twitter post, is Bitcoin is actually on path of following this macro fractal perfectly. So at the moment, Bitcoin is back up in this region, testing that previous swing high at the moment. So it's on path of pretty much following this macro fractal. This fractal does predict somewhere in about April or March to top out, and then that's where blockchain backers pretty much saying that the insane altcoin rally is going to occur in this region. I don't know. I just like to follow this. I don't believe in fractals. I think that there's a lot going on. He's actually shocked that it has been tracking it for the last 5 months, like pretty much spot on. All I'm doing is sticking to my guns and just de-risking from the market at the moment, just to take some healthy profits out on this bounce higher, and then reposition my portfolio in a different manner, different strategy. So this is the wall of worry, and what I like to tell people is when the markets are going up, you're constantly going to see these type of narratives like oil prices going up. I mean, there's ISIS, there's Ebola, there's a Fed taper, there's a market bubble, there was Syria at one stage, there's the US debt, Greece was defaulting on their loan, China slowing down, negative GDP. When markets going up, it's constantly climbing these wall of worry, and when markets are going down, it's constantly stepping down on all of these hopium. So typically when you're constantly seeing all of these negative news, it's a sign to me that the market is still climbing higher till we get that crash. Let's have a look at this altcoin index. So at the moment, we're pretty much strong on the Bitcoin season, pretty much, yeah. Let's have a look at this. This is what I like about it. You can see what is outperforming Bitcoin at the moment. Over the past 90 days, you see XRP is holding strong. Matic, Clay, I don't know what that is. Phantom, FTT, FTX coin, New Protocol, Atom, Luna, I don't know, Leo or Osmosis. These must be very small cap coins. But typically, I like to focus on things that are outperforming Bitcoin, because when we do get an altcoin season, these are currently the strongest coins. These could potentially do very well. They're outperforming Bitcoin at the moment. So yeah, keep an eye on this. It's called blockchaincenter.net. Altcoin season index. What else we had? So this is the DeFi index. I posted this up pretty much testing these range lows, and I believe we've broken down on it. So just be careful of that. And it's always good to keep an eye on DeFi, because if we do get a bounce off this region, or we do break back above this region, you want to get some exposure into DeFi. DXY dollar, US dollar index approaching key overhead resistance. So what I want to point out in this is the RSI pretty much. So it's in this uptrending channel right now, and eventually it will break down. When it does break down, that will be a key opportunity for Bitcoin to do what it does best and just rip, in my opinion. So I'm just tracking this RSI channel at the moment. So US dollar index, the DXY, is starting to get a bit top heavy. So I'm just keeping an eye on any reversal signs. I thought we got some reversal signs early on, but we pretty much pumped up and put in a new high. We've got some key overhead resistances to battle with. So looking like that long shadow wick above, it's looking a bit hard for the DXY to move any higher. So like I said again, keep an eye on this RSI channel to break as an early sign that DXY is going to put in a retrace. And historically, all previous bull runs for Bitcoin, the retrace is where we had the Bitcoin bull runs. Let's move on to portfolios. XRP. XRP put in a high on the daily time frame, so that is confirmation where I did buy on that support line down there. It paid off. Pretty much we got that high, and I am riding it through until I see a break above this blue line. I do have expectations for XRP to do things quite well, especially with the SEC court case. There was an interview with BitBoy that I watched today, and they're looking at a potential settlement in September. Plenty of time, really. Bullish case, wave 1 of 5 taking XRP to $4.50 and beyond. So this is a really interesting analysis by CoinSkid. So it's pretty much tracking this Elliott wave theory exactly. So the biggest wave was wave 3, typical in Elliott waves, which he's shown that in February, it's put in that biggest wave. Then it put in ABC correction. Now it's putting in a 5th wave at the moment, so let's just track that. Other low cap gems that I'm pretty much scaling into is AIOZ, pretty much on this floor. So it picked up some AIOZ. Another one that I like to track as well is Super. I scaled out of this one pretty much when it started hitting that resistance again, starting to look like a head and shoulders. I'm glad I did because it pretty much came down to retest that low range. Energy Web Token, another crypto coin smashed and on the floor, testing key range lows, so highest risk to reward opportunity right there if you caught it. Ray as well, this one didn't work, it fell down and put in a lower low, but at the moment it's just consolidating sideways, so there might be some potential for this Solana token if it can break back above. VeChain versus ETH, another interesting one, basically on the floor over a multi-year support level. So this one's over on the floor, so you can swap your ETH for VeChain and potentially get another 5x out of this if it does rally back up like it did in previous times. Yeah, and there you go. Support didn't hold, more downside possible, but yeah, let's see how it holds this level. If it does reclaim that line, then I might be looking at Ray again. Cartesi again on another one, support didn't hold on the weekly time frame. There's not a lot of support below it, so this could dump very quickly down to these lower regions, but if we do get a break back above that white line, then it might be some opportunity there for Cartesi to get into. Let's have a look into some altcoin news in 24 hours see for yourself just the staggering volumes that these dexes are handling. So DYDX, it's a decentralized derivative exchange. It's pushing out a lot of volume ahead of PancakeSwap, and then you've got Mega Exchange. I think this is from Atom. I'm not too sure. Don't know a lot of these names, but basically on PancakeSwap, this has a huge volume, and to see PancakeSwap doing higher volume than to just see DYDX doing higher volume to PancakeSwap is pretty insane. So yeah, keep an eye on DYDX. There's a lot of potential for this token. It's got good numbers behind it. So the top 10 coins mentioned on Twitter in the past week, in the last week of February, pretty much. So you got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Shiba, Cake, Tezos, Doge, Cardano, SafeMoon, Rarible, and Matic. So still the king, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Just thought I'll mention that. So just PancakeSwap, don't know why. There's a lot of activity with PancakeSwap on social networks. It's another one on my watch list at the moment. I'll keep you guys updated when there's a good buy potential. So I didn't know about this, but this is a very old token. So EOS is one of the old tokens, saying the EOS ecosystem is growing. So it's a token that's not really hyped about lately and pretty much any time. But another one on my watch list for sure to find entries on. It's got a huge growing ecosystem. Not sure if there's actual use case behind it though. Another one for the Aussies, UST is pretty much listed on Binance and SwiftX. What this means is you could buy the stablecoin UST on both SwiftX and CoinSpot. So what you can do is you can take it out of your wallet in your centralized exchange. You can send it to Anchor Protocol and stake it for 19% APY. So it might be an option for some people that want to de-risk for the market, but as always, do your research about Anchor Protocol and the 19% APY that you earn. They might not always have that reserve back to give you that 19%, but I believe that they're doing some good things by getting more items there available for people to deposit to pretty much take a loan out against their cryptos. So at the moment, I think you can only do Ethereum and Bitcoin, or just Ethereum. Like people would deposit Ethereum to take a loan out. Yeah, there's the people that are depositing UST are getting a benefit of that interaction. On chain, let's have a look at it. So Game of Trade is another reason why to follow this person right here. So this one again in the last week of Feb, kind of might have predicted this one. So down here when you've got that really low point, total supply and profit held by short-term hodlers. You can see that short-term hodlers are pretty much not in profit. These are historically the best times to buy, and you saw Bitcoin rally after that, and since then Bitcoin's rallied again. So always pay attention to this metric. It's a great opportunity to dollar cost average into Bitcoin, in my opinion, when this metric hits that floor level. So this is the number of Bitcoin hodlers on the rise. So this is powerful as well. So every time that the Bitcoin hodlers are on the rise, it's pretty much Bitcoin price starts increasing. Now when the hodlers are decreasing, that's pretty much that they're distributing back into the retail, and you don't want to be in Bitcoin when that's happening. But at the moment, Bitcoin's rising, so it's great if you had accumulated recently, and you can look back on its history every time. Bitcoin price dropping, hodlers increasing. Bitcoin price rising, hodlers decreasing. So you want to be with the hodlers. Let's move on to what's happening in the world of government and politics. So remember in February, I like this quote. It's crazy to think that FOMC minutes were almost a non-event not so long ago. Times are changing fast. Remember in January that there was so much hype about the FOMC meeting and about interest rates and all of this kind of stuff. It was well forgotten in February. The market just moved on from it. So this is my point. Don't listen to the news. News is unpredictable. News is emotional. You cannot trade on news. Trade on fundamental understanding and trade on technical analysis. That's my biggest advice. Another one by politicians in the US. Colorado governor on CNBC's state will accept Bitcoin for taxes starting this summer. So this is interesting. American summer comes up in a few months. Don't know if this has been passed yet, but it's very interesting to see if they do push this through, because at the moment it's all talk. So have a look at this. US Federal Reserve has banned staff from trading Bitcoin, crypto stocks and bonds. So this is very interesting to me. Pretty much when the S&P 500 is pretty much at all-times high, at that Fibonacci, full extensions on the Fibonacci based on the global financial crisis, they come up with a pretty much a policy over here to say, yeah, politicians shouldn't be trading stocks, and everyone else is meant to believe that this is a really nice way to say, yeah, no, it's biased, whatever it is, and give them an easy way out of the market to pretty much dump their bags on all the retail investors before the real bloodbaths begin. So again, I do not think that this is good at all. Probably good in the long term, but you know for a fact that in the long term they'll find their way to get their money back into the markets either way, because at the moment, if you hold knowledge like Nancy Pelosi, you're going to be voting in favor with whatever laws are going to be passed to make that company do well. And again, another reminder from Matt Highland. So that was the January FOMC meeting by the US Federal Reserve. So ever since that, Bitcoin had rallied after that. So as always, you can't trade off the news. Don't sell based on fear. Thailand Stock Exchange to allow trading with Bitcoin and crypto. So this is huge. Yeah, very huge case for adoption. There's another bill approved in Brazil. Senate committee today would exempt Bitcoin mining hardware taxes. So this is pretty bullish for Bitcoin as well. So any miners out in Brazil, they can now operate there and they could claim deductions from their assets pretty much. And then straight after as well, Brazil Senate Committee approves a proposal for regulating Bitcoin and crypto. So they still have to vote for it on the Senate floor. But again, this is another case for crypto adoption. We'll see if this comes through. But for the long term, very, very bullish. Another poll I like to see from Jason Pizzino. The Russia-Ukraine conflict will be old news before 2022 is over. And unfortunately, I know it's pretty ugly times, but I think pretty much agreed. In terms of the markets, and it might be relevant news in terms of world events and geopolitical events, but in terms of the markets, financial markets, yes, I think it will be old news because people just move on to the next narrative. Pennsylvania Senate candidate buy Bitcoin for economic freedom. So another reason why I love this is because you've got this older generation of senators in the US pretty much very bullish and dovish with Bitcoin. It's very good for the long-term adoption for Bitcoin. Let's have a look at what's going on in companies and institutions. Switzerland's largest bank, UBS, crypto interest is growing in Congress and going mainstream. So this is big again. So adoption is out there. There is so much bullish news out there. Even if the markets do go down, understand the reasons why you're getting into crypto. And another one that this will be pretty much hands down one of the biggest you're going to see the biggest dweebs moving into crypto and NFTs. Dragon Ball, Naruto, and tech and video game publisher will invest $130 million to build a metaverse. So I don't know who that they're partnering up with, but this will be huge just with these names alone. It's going to draw a lot of the younger generation into crypto. Another one from Warren Buffett that called Bitcoin pretty much a rat poison back in the past and said that he will never invest in Bitcoin. What has he done? He's invested $1 billion into a Bitcoin-friendly company. I think it's called Nubank. So very interesting. He hasn't gone into Bitcoin directly. He's just moved money into a company that is in Bitcoin. Very interesting. JP Morgan, the metaverse is a $1 trillion per year market opportunity. So a lot of bullish news from JP Morgan yet. Still haven't seen them actually do anything other than just constantly shill the opportunities in crypto. Self-Wealth to become Australia's first traditional stockbroker to offer Bitcoin and crypto to clients. So this is pretty big as well. So Self-Wealth is a broker where you can buy assets on Australian Stock Exchange, on the ASX. But they're also going to offer Bitcoin and crypto as well. So pretty big. I think they're competing against the Commonwealth Bank that offers this service as well recently in the past few months. So again, bullish signs for the adoption of crypto in Australia. Morgan Stanley report Bitcoin more decentralized than Ethereum, which is hands down true. As much as people hang shit on proof of work, it is the most secure blockchain out there compared to proof of stake and anything else that they have out there. Proof of work, I know it requires energy, but it is very much more secure. And they're saying that it is more decentralized than Ethereum. And I think we're seeing that case with Ukraine and Russia with their banks shutting down, people doing bank runs. There's no more money in the ATMs. People are going to cryptocurrency. People are turning to Bitcoin because it's the easiest way to move your assets into Bitcoin. And then you can move individually anywhere in the world with the assets in your head. Pretty much remember a few words as your seed phrase, and you can carry those assets anywhere you go. And again, Warren Buffett invested $1 billion into Nubank while selling Visa and MasterCard. Don't sleep on that. It's pretty big. And Charlie Munger comes out saying, I hate Bitcoin. This guy, I don't know how old he is, but he's got to be close to pretty much tapping out. So when these old baby boomers are out the door, their messages of hating Bitcoin is just going to go with them pretty much because the younger generation will take over. In February, the last 3 weeks, FBI creates crypto unit, Intel creates blockchain unit, PayPal creates crypto council, Google creates blockchain unit, MasterCard creates crypto consulting. So crypto seems to be a fair bit of attention where a lot of companies are focusing on even since 2021. So again, very good for the long-term adoption of crypto. Don't forget that when the market's even red. Don't forget that these fundamental reasons to stay bullish is still there for the long term. After the Super Bowl, this was a huge success as well. So ads boosted crypto app downloads by 279%. That's a 3x. So a huge amount of people downloaded pretty much Coinbase, FTX, these crypto exchange apps, and we haven't seen that yet. So what I mean by that is there's been a huge amount of people signing up to these exchanges, but we haven't seen crypto markets move at the moment. So which tells me that there's a lot of new retail money on the sidelines, and for them to come in, you have to wait for FOMO. You have to wait for max pain on the way up. So max pain doesn't just happen on the way down, it happens on the way up as well. So when Bitcoin starts moving on the way up, you've got a huge amount of retail on the sidelines after the Super Bowl that have downloaded the Coinbase app and become members, and probably might have forgotten about crypto by now, who knows, but there's a potential for a lot of these people to come into the markets very hard when the FOMO kicks in, and FOMO kicks in harder than fear. Puma changed their Facebook name to Puma.eth, another huge, pretty much right up there in terms of adoption, in my opinion. People might just call it a name change, but it's a bit of a flex, in my opinion. It's telling people that they're in the blockchain network. It's new. I mean, they're not an old company. They are old. They have been around for a while, but they are still trying to stay relevant. South Korean bank to launch crypto ETFs as it wants to offer crypto products as quickly as possible. So this will be huge, especially if this ETF is a spot-backed ETF. This will be huge for South Korea to get involved with the space. So let's have a look at what else is going on. So this was very interesting in my opinion. 61% of millennials with income over 100k now own crypto. 41% of all millennial parents own crypto, and 47% of all urban millennials. I don't know what that means, but you can see this. All US adults, pretty much 20%. Millennial parents, 44%. So the adoption is occurring, but that's just in the US. We still haven't got the adoption all around the world. But there is a lot of wealth being transferred between generations in the next 10, 20 years. There's a lot of baby boomers that will be transferring their wealth down to millennials, and we'll see what happens with where their money goes. So another one for Phil Anderson regarding the second half of the real estate cycle. For those that don't know, Phil Anderson talks about 18.6 years of market cycles, which is linked to the property market. Cut the story short, pretty much Phil Anderson is saying in around 2025, 2026, give or take, we're going to see a big correction in the markets. And what's a sign for that coming is when tech stocks underperform. So we can see this PayPal, another considered a tech stock. Pretty much true to what Phil Anderson's saying. In the second half of the market cycle, you get tech stocks underperforming, and that's what happened. You've got likes of Facebook, you've got PayPal, you've got Square. They're very underperforming at the moment. I mean, they've had a crazy run up as well. What's going on? So I like this little meme of the Bitcoin adopter. So I'm a millionaire, I'm a Bitcoiner. I'm a millionaire, I'm a Bitcoiner. So this is the power of the HODL. If you truly believe in blockchain, and if you truly believe in what Bitcoin is doing, dollar cost average for the long term. It's not financial advice, but pretty much I've been orange pilled and I put in an amount that I'm happy to invest. And another reminder, when the crypto market is in a downtrend, it'll continue the downtrend until momentum changes. So why would you try and time the bottom? Out of every possible attempt, there will only be one reversal. That's pretty bad odds. That's why you should never try to pick the bottoms. So just a reminder, when you're trying to open positions, when you think that this looks really good, just think again. Sometimes it's best to just sit on the sidelines and wait. I like this little video of an instant payment of the Bitcoin over a Lightning Network. You can see this guy paying this lady. And it's as easy as that. He scans a QR code on the Lightning Network. It looks pretty good. It's pretty amazing. This wasn't around a couple of years ago, so give it a few more years and I'll say people might be walking around with this all over the place when you go on your next holiday. Remember, markets are always bearish when there is fear, uncertainty and doubt. FUD. There's plenty of that going on around with Russia, Biden's crypto regulation and internet interest rates. Once clarity is set, for good or worse, the market tends to recover. So this is just a reminder that even if the worst case comes out of all of these three scenarios, it doesn't matter. The market will continue doing what it's meant to do anyway. It's the clarity that the market wants. I like this. Lack was a primary school teacher before becoming a big shot influencer. This shows in his oversimplistic view of the economic situation right now. Don't take advice for people that just regurgitate information, like pretty much like what I'm doing as well. Take it from people that can back it up with statistics and can can hold onto their thesis. What I do like about Lark is he's talking in terms of very, very long-term view. Now, if you come in when Bitcoin's pumping and it's going very well, he's going to look like a genius and he's pretty much going to look like a moon boy. But what people don't understand is he's got a very long-term view on things. Even if Bitcoin goes down by 90%, he's still going to be talking the same way. And a lot of people that watch his videos aren't ready for that reality, aren't ready for that expectation that Lark will still be talking bullish, ultra bullish when Bitcoin's down 90%. So yeah, just get a reality check, because these guys, whilst they do sound ultra bullish at the times that are good, they're still going to sound ultra bullish when the times are bad as well. So that just might confuse a lot of people on the sidelines. Just understand why you're getting into it and understand the language and the tone, the people that you're listening to. Interest on NFTs, Google Trends, always follow this. Pretty much put in a lower low recently, so just be aware on NFTs that hype might be tailing off unless we do get a bounce up higher. So just keep an eye on that. Thanks for joining me on this weekly recap. So I hope to do a better job next time and keep more up-to-date events as well, and keep you guys updated with our trade ideas and setups. Ciao.